No.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to explain our two-pronged CSR project to help solidify our expansion in the Chinese market. We were inspired by your major PR initiative in 2013, Mr. Seabrook, and we hope to achieve similar results in increasing our reputation and sales in a new market. Our proposed project, focuses on empowering and educating Chinese farmers on the benefits, the proper usage, and disposal of our products, and influencing current and future leaders in China through a guest speaker program. In whole, we hope to not only improve our reputation in the new market that has a lot of potential for growth, but we also hope to communicate our commitment to our stakeholders through hands-on programs.
To help increase our revenues and reputation, we seek to educate farmers on properly using our products and also connect them with NGOs to modernize. Our idea is to send out teams to the industrial farms and 10 smaller farming villages in the Hubei province of China, and in these teams, they will be composed of 5 representatives of the merger. 3 will be researchers from ChemChina, while 2 will be our own Syngenta representatives. They will stay in these villages and areas for the duration of a single crop rotation, while noting down how these farmers take note to our products and their perception of them. They will also demonstrate how to properly use and dispose of our products and make sure that everything is working smoothly and efficiently. In addition, we also plan to highlight the long-term aspects, the long-term plans for our growth by staying for the entire crop duration and leaving samples such as this bottle of Derivo. We hope to generate interest in these areas and allow them to test our products further even after we leave. So the farmers' benefits are our benefits. Our main goal is to showcase our product line and to introduce these to our new market in China while the merger is still being completed. Thus, we can gain a start on building a reputation early on and focus on that.
I'm sorry, how will people outside of China know of this initiative?
So our main market is actually to focus in China, like in the specific Hubei province, which is our test subject for now. So as I was saying, it's a big issue for us to focus on the Chinese market because in the past they've been very hostile towards agribusiness products. And so gaining an early edge on reputation will go a long way in the future. So now, this idea is actually one similar to what you, Mr. Parr, have used in the past and have still continued using in our other sites. Like as you know, we test our own techniques and GMOs in demonstration trials in our own testing grounds. And as you remember, we would bring in growers to witness in the beginning of the testing period how we administer the chemicals, and once again at the end to showcase our growth and our increase in our products' yield. So most farmers, after witnessing our trials, became very interested in our product. Yes.
Yeah. So you said your proposition is very similar to the one before. Do you plan on just incorporating the same setup, or is there anything different from this recommendation?
Well, this is so the main difference between this and the other one is that before we had growers come to our testing grounds, but since this is a new market and we want to appeal to these Chinese farmers, we are going to come to them, and especially because obviously we do not know as much of the culture and language as ChemChina does, so that is why we have teams composed of ChemChina researchers plus our own representatives who are used to these testing grounds. So as I was saying, these growers were very very interested in our products after seeing these trials, and now most have become loyal consumers. But while these sessions not only have increased our growth in pesticide products, they also give us the opportunity to teach sustainable farming methods and train
What are some risks involved with this project?
So, by that do you mean entering the new market, or do you?
Entering the new market.
Okay, so obviously there are many risks in entering a foreign market, especially China, because of how aversive they are to foreign products. That's why we are conducting this test. We wanted to start this test before our merger was finalized and all the paperwork was done, so that we could purely research how this would affect the farmers. And so this province, because it surrounds Shanghai, it has a huge access into the city, and there are a lot of farming areas that are still industrialized while being in need for more beneficial. So as I was saying, this will get since we have done this in the past. We have reasonable. We can expect. We have reason to believe that this will work in the future, and we hope that after watching our products work in their farms, these farmers will be more compelled to buying our products, and this will give us a segue into the Chinese market in the future.
On top of our education program, we hope to leverage our partnerships with NGOs to allow us to empower rural farmers by giving them access to modern farming equipment. As you already know, though China is #1 in agricultural consumption, Chinese farmers have been having trouble meeting food demands, caused by problems such as water shortages, soil erosion, and out-of-date farming tools. We can become the bridge between farmers facing these problems and local NGOs. By connecting them together, we can increase environmental sustainability in rural farming villages. We will also record the interactions between the farmers and our company in order to use for future advertisements. This not only gives farmers media coverage, but is an effective way to communicate our CSR efforts to the wider public. Yes?
Sorry, I was just wondering, how would you make sure that when you give them the new technology, that they know how to use it? Because if they're using very simple tools, it was going to be really hard for them to understand.
So our plan is to educate and empower. So not only are we going to give them the tools, but we will educate them on how to use the tools, like Sashin talked about right before me. So we're going to educate them, and then we'll give them the connections with NGOs to get the modernized tools. Putting farmers in contact with NGOs such as the Global Village of Beijing, which specializes in green community development, ecological conservation, and youth environment through education, and Friends of Nature, one of the most influential NGOs in China that focuses on raising environmental awareness. In contact with farmers, we hope to improve our reputation with local NGO communities and local farmers. We have already partnered with Earthwatch, where we're providing professional and personal development in Europe to raise awareness about the most beneficial practices on sustainability. We have already seen immense success in increasing our reputation through this partnership. And if we use a similar plan when partnering with the Global Village of Beijing and Friends of Nature, we have no doubt that we will see an increase in our reputation in the Chinese market as well. This has a direct correlation with increased sales, and can help us hit the ground running when entering the Chinese market. The Empowerment Education Program gives Syngenta the opportunity to be seen keeping to our word by being proactive in our consumers' lives.
So, in order to help ensure that our reputation increases from this endeavor, we want to actually broadcast on TV all of our efforts on empowering and educating our farmers. This in turn can help us increase our sales, which is our main goal from this entire endeavor. Now, we hope to just film exactly what our representatives and what ChemChina's representatives are doing on the fields in order to use for our TV promotions. Yes?
How do you plan on, like, what is your, like, finance outlook on these promotions? Because if you're saying you want to film things, have you looked at the costs of this situation?
Yes, and it does fit within our budget simply because it's in one province, and then we're using this as a test bed to see if it is effective or not. Now, moving on from there, we want to actually partner with, as Jazz said, with the Global Village of Beijing, which has already established an environmental TV program, a forum to discuss eco-friendly ideas and techniques, and a guest speaker program that focuses on environmental benefits. With this already in place, it can help us springboard into our own campaign because they already have the communication infrastructure set up. Now, the important thing about this is TV advertisements, as you all know, are very effective. Multiple media analytics firms like Ubiquity, for example, yes?
But TV ads are going to be really expensive. Don't you think so?
It's also broadcast specifically on the Global Village of Beijing's TV program, so it's going to be a little bit cheaper because they already focus on the environmental benefits, so this just kind of ties in and just adds to what they're saying. So,
Thank you.
no problem. And because of our partnership there, it'll help us with, again, springboarding into this. And we know from multiple TV analytics firms that TV advertisements are the most cost-effective means of conveying our message, second to radio. And because of this, it can help us increase reputation. On top of that, the 2015 Nielsen Sustainability Report actually showed that 45% of global consumers actually will pay more for products that are from companies that are known for their sustainable practices. 66% of global consumers actually would pay more for those products as well. And now Cassie will move on to the second part of our two-pronged plan.
The second part of our two-pronged plan entails trying to influence current and future leaders in China through education. We would like to start off by having guest speakers such as pro-GMO scientists and our own researchers to visit the China Agricultural University in Beijing. Yes.
It seems like you guys are focusing on advertisements in China.
Yes.
Is there any global, worldwide advertisement strategy, or?
Well, not yet, because this is just a test run, and the thing is that China's market is largely anti-GMO, so we're just trying to get them on board so that way we can merge with ChemChina peacefully without any problems. So, having guest speakers at the China Agricultural University will promote discussion, and which is what we want to do, promote discussion on the benefits of GMOs, pesticides, and other products that we create. We also intend to have discussions focused on faculty, which will in turn help educate the students as well, because the faculty will teach the students the future leaders of China. Our end goal is to get you, Mr. Ramsey, to visit our university and also speak to the students. And also, we want to have Hebei's provincial leaders, such as the party secretary and the governor, to also visit the university. We want to give you, Mr. Ramsey, the opportunity to lobby with these leaders in order to hopefully build connections that can speed up potential product requests and also maybe construction requests for future facilities. Yes.
Do you have any ethical concerns with involving ourselves with lobbying in the government?
Not really, because All we're trying to do is make sure that the government and others see that pesticides and GMOs aren't all negatives. So, going back to what I was saying. Now you may ask, why lobbying? Well, a study at the Center for Research and Security Prices has shown that lobbying
15 minutes. Yep.
that lobbying intensity is positively correlated with excess returns. In particular, firms that have the highest lobbying intensities tend to significantly outperform their benchmarks. Also, while it is true that the larger firms tend to use lobbying due to the cost of such activity, the returns do tend to exceed the costs. Also, with your approval, you will be that much closer to expanding into a market that's already not very receptive of our products. This would be a huge step for Syngenta, as we would be penetrating through a seemingly impermeable market. A study at MIT showed that consumers are most likely receptive to a company that promotes open discussion, which is what we hope to do with our guest speakers. We welcome students and faculty to ask as many questions as they may have about our company and its practices and what it does. So essentially, what we want is to build trust with our consumers and stakeholders and promote an open discussion so that they feel that their opinions do matter in our company, which they do.
So the main point of this plan is we want to target farmers and politicians. We want to educate and empower the farmers by giving them access to modern technology and our own products and help them increase their own crop yields. And we hope to educate the future politicians that are currently students and the politicians with our lobbying effort. Now, this falls within our budget simply because it's only one province and it's a test bed, and we will measure our reputation change from the beginning to the end and just see if it is effective or not. If it is effective, we hope to continue this on to the rest of China. Thank you for your time, and if you have any additional questions, please let us know.
Thank you, Team Syngenta. Okay, everybody.